TaiLS doll is watching you. I consider myself to be the luckiest man in the world. I didn't win the lottery, strike oil in my backyard, or find a drop-dead beautiful girl. I survived. Let me explain. Last week, I was cleaning my dorm with my roommate Alexander, but I just call him Xander or Alex. Everything was going as usual. The work was exhausting. We unpacked box after box. Our room was also our U-Haul, and we're sorting everything for what felt like decades. But it wasn't without fun. Occasionally, we'd unpack a box and stumble upon some nostalgic items, like our sound recording pens we used to spy within our freshman years, or old assignments that we thought were torture but now would be respite. We were having a discussion about invincibility. Alex insisted that some things were just plain old invincibility, while I argued that everything had to have a weak point. Anyways, we were nearly finished with Alex when Alex shouted to me from across the room, "Hey, look what's in this!" Alex exclaimed, grinning. I made my way over to him, traced his pointing finger to a box containing my old Sega Saturn. I couldn't believe it. My long-lost friend had returned. We had both had a Saturn as kids. It was our favorite pastime. It was our childhood. A while back, Alex's Saturn had broken, and I had lost mine. But here it was, sitting in a musty box in the corner of our room. A whole piece of childhood memories and good times buried by adulthood had suddenly been unearthed. I had found a treasure worth more than gold. Well, you want to play it or just keep standing there? Alex barked, jerking me back to reality. Sure, I replied to convince Alex. Postponing the rest of the cleaning, we removed it and hooked it up to our TV. Then we extended the golden library of my old games. Whoa, you have an international victory goal. Yeah, oh, I forgot about Sonic Jam. When we had browsed through everything, we set about what we should play first. We decided on Sonic 3D Flicky's Island. For several hours, we flipped through every game, reliving our childhood. It was nearly midnight, but we were still going strong. Alex removed the next game from the pile. It was Sonic R. Oh, Sonic R! The TaiLS doll is gonna get you! He laughed. He said, laughing and tickling me. Hey, stop it! Get off! I shouted playfully. I managed to stop his tickling. Want to try the curse? He moaned, emitting a spooky voice. Why not? I replied, frightened or so. I bet you don't even know what it is, he retorted. Of course I knew about the curse. You played a tag race on Resort Island as a TaiLS doll and tagged Metal Robotnik. Oh, tag robot. Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, tagging Supersonic last. After that, the TaiLS doll was supposed to steal your soul. It was all bullcrap, if you ask me. Nonetheless, Alex grabbed the controller and everything set up in less than a minute. The game started. The curse song, Can You Feel the Sunshine, began to play. We were soon reminded of the difficulty of the tag race. Even though I wasn't playing, I felt like Alex's frustration as he narrowly missed Metal Sonic, and Metal Sonic turned around. There were several moments of frustration throughout the race as we came close to tagging another player. Then we had the opportunity to snatched from us as we bumped into a wall, etc. After what seemed like hours, Alex finally tagged Supersonic, ending the race. We were both so relieved to have tagged them that we'd forgotten about the curse. So the TaiLS doll picture popped up on the screen. We both jumped. Everything was silent for a few seconds as the TaiLS doll seemed to gaze deeply at us as a predator gazes at his prey, inspecting his meal. Heh, I forgot about that, Alex said, breaking the silence. I was so preoccupied with the race. Yeah, me too. Whoa, this is boring. I'm going to get some chips. I guess I'll get some too. I'm a little hungry. Going to get some chips have made me feel less afraid. I had an excuse not to look at that thing anymore, but even if I went out of the room, I knew that something was still staring at me. What made it worse was that Can You Feel the Sunshine was playing in my head, and I couldn't get it out. After a few minutes of being out of the room, my fear had lessened. We began talking again about what we would have played next when we got back. I wanted to play my ROM hack replica of Sonic Extreme, but Alex insisted on Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Sonic Jam. After our little banter about the next game, we went back into our room and we once again confronted with the TaiLS doll. Alex had won our argument. We would play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Sonic Jam next. By the time I'd shaken off my fear and I was ready to continue again. Alex went to shut off the Saturn. Suddenly, my diminished fear returned, many times stronger than before. Alex had turned off the Saturn, but the picture of TaiLS doll was still on the screen. Its eyes seemed a little blacker. Alex turned around and saw me, white with fear. "What's wrong?" he asked me. I didn't respond. My eyes were fixed on the screen. Alex turned back around and looked at the screen. Instantly, his jovial face was replaced with one of sheer horror. We were both silent for a minute. I turned it off. It's still there. I went back over to the Saturn and unplugged it. Then the TV. Nothing changed. The TaiLS doll was still staring us down, hungry for blood. What the is happening? Why is it still there? I unplugged it. What the heck is wrong with it? He shouted. Go away! Away! His eyes blackened even more. Get out of there, you goddamn sick bastard! Alex was provoking it even more with his shouts. Go away, you freaking demon! The lights in our room cut out. Our faces were only illuminated by the lights from the TV. Alex quieted down. Can You Feel the Sunshine was playing again. We both sat down and listened. Finally, the TV turned off, leaving us in pitch black darkness. What the heck was that? What the heck was that? Alex whispered to me. Tomorrow, I'm going right to Dean's office, filing a complaint. I'm going to get new lights, a new TV, and a new goddamn dorm. Do you hear me? I wasn't listening. I was distracted by a red light glowing faintly from across the room. I started to get up in anticipation of moving closer. Alex was still shouting at me. I tapped him on the shoulder, pointed to it. He saw the light too, and shut up instantly. I was standing up now. Heater, I whispered to him. He seemed to understand. We had a heater in our dorm room that was sealed with iron doors. Now! I shouted. The lights shot towards us as we began running towards our safe haven. It nearly missed us, as if it flew past me. I caught a glimpse of his face. As I suspected, the lights was coming from the red orb mounted atop his head. He had a mouth stitched closed, and one ear seemed to be bitten off. The worst part was his eyes, two fathomless black voids staring into my soul. He shot past me, and landing in a pile of boxes, he kept running towards the heater. I was always the fastest of the two, so I was about 2 feet ahead of Alex when it happened. I took a quick glance back to see a red light rising from the rubble. I also saw Alex's terrified face trying to desperately keep up. The light shot towards us. As I saw it disappear behind Alex. "Tony!" he shouted. Then Alex fell forward, revealing a bloody claw emerging from its hand. He had given me the time I needed. With one great Herculean effort, I flung open the door to the heater, darted inside, slammed it shut, and jammed it just in time to hear the metallic bang of something hitting the other side. I had made it. I was safe for now. I heard pounding from the other side of the door, followed by scraping, and sounded familiar to nails on a chalkboard, but 10 times worse. The scraping subsided to pacing, which gave way to the silence. The only sound to be heard was the humming of the heater. It was now that the impact was what happened to hit him. Alex was dead. I was trapped. There was a demon on the other side of the door. I felt like crying, but I didn't. I was too shocked to cry. For a long time, I was at the mercy of my emotions. After a while, I regained control of myself and began to think logically. There was no more sound coming from the other side of the door. Was it gone? Can I get out? No. That's what it wants me to think. It wants me to think it's gone so it can rip me apart when I open the door. Other times, my tidal wave of grief crashed down upon me. Unfortunately, a few times, I thought of giving myself up to do it so I wouldn't suffer anymore. Fortunately, I stopped myself before I could have done something stupid. I thought of every way I might be able to leave my confines other than the door. The only other way was through the heater itself. If I went through there, I would burn up instantly. I kept trying to think, but there was something that always stopped me. The cursed song kept running through my head. Whenever I would think I had found a way that would work, the song would play in my head, and make me forget my plan because of my fear. Can you feel the sunshine? Sunshine! Sunshine! That was it! I had figured it out. I knew its weak point. Memories of my conversation earlier with Alex came back to me. I had said that everything had a weak point, and now I knew the TaiLS dolls. The song wasn't a curse, it was a blessing. I told you how to beat the TaiLS doll. His weakness was sunshine. For a moment, I felt relieved. I felt that everything would be okay. But then I remembered where I was. There wasn't any sunshine inside the dormitory. All the blinds were closed. It was night. Or was it? How long had I been in here? Maybe hours. It might already be morning. I didn't have a clock or a phone. There was no clock in the room. I couldn't tell what time it was by guessing either. My grieving might have been hours or maybe minutes. It didn't matter. I only had one chance. Its weakness was sunshine. Somehow, I had to get outside. The problem was that I was trapped by it. I would have to run past it, out my door, down the hallway, and out the door, leaving outside. I began thinking of what I had to make sure I would outrun it. I had seen how fast it was before. How could I outrun it? How could I run that? I couldn't think. I was getting desperate to leave. I mustered all of the courage I had and flung open the door. It was still there. I had been waiting there for the whole time, but I had anticipated that. As soon as the door opened, I was out. This may have been the scariest moment of my life. I nearly ran into it. With one giant leap, I cleared its head, rolled on the floor, and made it to the door. I think that was trying to sabotage. I think that it tried to sabotage me when I left the furnace. It didn't matter. I was still being chased. I tore into the hallway. dashing towards the exit. It seemed that the blackout earlier had affected the entire building, because all the lights were out here too. I could see a flashing light reflecting off the far wall ahead of me. It was in the hallway too. With all the speed I had, I made it for the exit. Well, this was definitely a very long story. I don't think that was all of it. There's still more. But I don't want to make this... But to end the story off, the last sentence is, I decided to keep it as a trophy for my victory. Probably a sword or something. A few weeks later, I sworn I saw the TaiLS doll face in that gym mouthing the words, "I will come back, and you know it. Can you feel the terrors of the dark?" So yeah, that was the TaiLS doll is watching you. And while I was reading it, I was scared out of my wits. I thought TaiLS doll was right behind me. Thankfully not. It's just a red pillow. Oh jeez. So yeah, that was TaiLS doll was watching you. I'm sorry I didn't read the whole thing, but I didn't want the story to be that long. Oh jeez. So yeah. Bye bye.